Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I am here tonight with tonight's edition of 90 Day Oy Vey. Sophie was assaulted. Yeah, she was. And I have more Hunt for Love tea. Now, before I start getting into things, and I want you guys to start coming into the room, I'm hoping that I am able to do this live all the way through. We have some pretty bad storms here in New York, and actually, where I live in Queens, there is a bunch of beautiful trees. I live in literally a tree lined neighborhood, but the problem with many of those trees is that they are old as fuck. They are rotten on the inside, and when there's storms with winds over 40, 50 miles an hour and trees get hit by lightning, they come down. And unfortunately, in my neighborhood earlier today, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, we had a really bad storm. There was hail, lightning, thunder, and everything. It lasted for about 20 minutes. The sun came out, and you would have never thought we just had a storm. But the damage around in my neighborhood was on the news. We're hardly ever on the news, okay? Reporters were sent out here and everything. Power lines are down, trees are down. I mean, so my lights were flickering a little bit earlier. We're under a storm watch until 9 o'clock. So I'm hoping that we don't get another one and my lights start flickering. So if you hear thunder and I suddenly vanish, don't worry. It's not Jasmine's voodoo. Angela didn't do anything to my Wi Fi. It's probably the storm. So, first, before I get into anything, I want to, as always, thank everyone that's in my live comments. Hi, Olinda. Thank you for making it. And okay, the answer to your question, I don't have a set time for my lives. Like, I try to go live between 7 and 8. Um, it all depends on what time my husband gets home from work and what time I finish making dinner. Honestly, yeah. So my lives revolve around my husband's appetite. So I try to do it between 7 and 8. Hi, Pancho. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Mary Beth. Aaron. Aaron, thank you so much for being a long time viewer, and thank you for watching me. Um, my trusty moderator, menopausal queen. Hi, Toasty. Hi, BNB. Hi, Gulf Coast Girl. Hi, MH. Hi, Shelly. Yes, aren't my chats a fucking ball? I love my chats. And yes, Miss Optimistic, a kid got struck by lightning in Central Park. He was sitting underneath the tree having a picnic, apparently. This is how quickly the storm hit. 1 minute it's beautiful, sunny, hot as fuck out. It hit like 93 today. And then next thing you know, the skies are black and it just opened up. So, yeah. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Celia. Hi, Metals Mine. I'm horrible. Hi, Sunshine. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. So, let's get into this, okay? So, first of all, we have the 90th wedding of 90 Day, and that was Sarper and Shekinah's bedding. What did you guys think of the bedding in general? What did you think of them being the 90th wedding? Honestly, I think either Greg and Joan or Stevie and Matty should have been the 90th wedding. But it's all kind of making sense because I believe Sarpa and Shekinah are now the new golden couple of 90 Day. They are taking over for Jasmine and Gino, who are no longer together. So Jasmine has to hand over her crown to Shekinah because now they are the golden couple. This is my opinion. Okay, we're not going to get rid of Sarper and Shekinah anytime soon. So, Shekinah, posted some pictures from their ceremony, and she said on 11/11/2024. Is that cliche or what? We were bedded not just as husband and wife, but as soulmates who crossed oceans, cultures, and time zones for love. We met in Turkey 3 years ago, not knowing that a single encounter would rewrite our lives. What followed was a love story written in flight miles, 14 trips across the ocean just to be close. Every mile was for this moment. And now, one final flight together to the US, where we begin our forever under one roof, no borders between us, only love. Sharing our journey on the show meant opening our hearts to the world. Being the 90th couple to marry in the franchise, that's the kind of magic you can't script. From Turkey to today, from distance to I do, our bedding is forever our beginning. Now, I don't know if it's just me and being of the older generation, but I do not think that this was how do I say this? Okay. This was making a mockery of weddings. Okay? Honestly, in my opinion, this whole betting concept was making a mockery of weddings and marriage in general. But this is solely my opinion. Okay? Shekinah's corset, dress, whatever the hell she was wearing, Sarper, where the hell was his sleeves? I mean, it was just a mockery of weddings and marriage itself, in my opinion. Okay. I know there's some people that thought it was a wonderful concept, so original. She looked beautiful. Hey, you can have your opinions. I can have mine. I think it was pretty trashy. But Shekinah says, this moment is unforgettable and so precious to both of us. Please have respect. This is a very intimate moment that we allowed cameras to capture. We didn't have to, but we chose to with the hopes our story would inspire those who have maybe given up on finding love. Everything is possible. For those that are hating on us for our unconventional choices, just know that love isn't cookie cutter. It doesn't have to look like something traditional or conventional to be real. This is our story and the choice that reflected who we are and what we love being in the bed is life. So listen, I'm not saying that they don't love each other. Okay? I'm just saying that their betting was a mockery of weddings and marriage in general. I'm not saying anything about their love and whether it's fake or real. I believe that these two truly are in love, and whatever we see on TV is acting on their part. Okay, these two are never going to leave each other. They are stuck at the hip, and we're not going to get rid of them anytime soon because they're good at playing the role, if you know what I mean. Like I said, it feels like they're stepping into the big shoes of Gino and Jasmine. Okay. You know, menopausal queen, you're right. The only connection is in bed. That's not true love. Yes, because when you're in menopause, you don't want sex that much anymore. Okay, so if your marriage and your relationship is based just on the bedroom antics, yeah, when when you get to my age, then that's when you'll see. Anyway, so okay, now I did not have this on my bingo card for 2025. But Farrah, teen mom Farrah, attacked, I'm assuming Sarper, okay, because Shekinah's not Italian, Sarper's not Italian. But anyway, TMZ covered Sarper and Shekinah's betting, and on their post on Instagram, Farrah was in the comments and she said, broke AF Italian user. I think she was referring to Sarper. We all know Sarper is from Turkey. He's not Italian. I think Farrah might be a little bit confused with her European countries, but I think she was referring to Sarper. Now, Shelley, I agree with you. It is ridiculous to have a weight limit for a woman, but I believe that this is all part of a role that they're playing. Okay? Sarper was the chauvinistic, masculine asshole over in Turkey. And then once he got to the States, he's like putty in Shekinah's hands. And Shekinah's now the raging bitch. I believe these are all just roles played by them to ensure that their seat on the 90-day train is not going to be filled by another couple anytime soon. You see, Jasmine and Gino were in the front of that 90-day train, but they've been replaced. And in my opinion, it's going to be with Sarper and Shekinah. Okay? So, moving on, we have Mark and Mina. Their wedding had me teary eyed. I have to admit, I was tearing up. I wasn't too crazy about the whole wedding look. Okay? I wasn't too crazy about her hair and makeup. Now in present day, Mina has gotten a lot better with the hair. She has gone back to her natural look. She's not wearing those crazy wigs anymore. Did I mention how cute Maria is? Maria was the star of the show at that wedding. She is a star in general. That little girl is adorable. And we have new friends hanging out together. Sean and Aaliyah hanging out with Mark and Mina. Sean and Aaliyah also hung out with Sarper and Shekinah. So, did I mention how cute Maria is and how she is the star? So, moving on. I think Stevie and Maddie honestly should have been the 90th wedding of 90 Day. Okay? Um, Stevie, she is a character though. Okay, so here is a picture of her and Saeed, and she says, fist bumped, but we survived it. Despite the drama, I am thankful Madhi had you and we survived. Thanks for the time you took to spend with him. I'm sure speaking his first language on this day was exactly what he needed. But we are done with that question. And then she has a picture of her and her friend Claire, and she says, thank you, Aunt Mrs. Hippie, for seeing me and supporting me. You knew when I was drowning and held out to your hand. Shout out to your hubby for surviving the speculation. He married a winner. Yeah, I could imagine how uncomfortable that must have been for Claire's husband, having Madhi speculate on TV whether or not she was boinking Stevie at one point. I can imagine that that would have been a wee bit uncomfortable. So, moving on, Jessica and Juan, their wedding was cute, and they had some special guests at their wedding. Daniel and Amber from Love in Paradise. Also, Jordan and Matt from Love in Paradise were there as well. So, they had some special guests. And Jessica held a question and answer session. Does Juan want another baby? And she says, we're happy with our family of five. So I take that as a no. Do you still work every day and do Juan work now? And she says, yes, I work full time, but I make my own schedule, so it's semi flexible. Keep watching for info on Juan. So I guess we'll find out during the tell all. Then someone said, congrats, where's the honeymoon? And she said, we did go on a mini moon in Vegas. Hopefully, a longer honeymoon someday once Tavid is a little older. So, my question is on the previews that we're seeing for the tell all, okay, you see this picture? Where the fuck is Jessica and Juan? I know they're there because when Danielle comes walking on sets or backstage, Jessica goes, my girl. So we know they're there. But did they miss picture day? Like, oh, what the fuck happened? So moving on, to a wedding that was not it, didn't make me tear up at all. Aaliyah and Sean, and you see them with Jessica and Juan in New York when they filmed the tell all. So someone asked Aaliyah, and I found her answer to this question very curious. Someone asked her, "What is the very first thing that comes to your mind when I ask what makes you smile?" And she says, "Food." I find that very interesting and insightful. She doesn't say, Sean, her relationship, um, I don't know, being married, no, food is the first thing that makes her smile. I find that very interesting. So someone asked, "Do you believe in God? If yes, explain your relationship with him." So Aaliyah replies, "I was raised in a religious environment. I attended church for 15 years of my life. During my teenage years, I realized that no matter how hard I tried, I felt further and further from God and never truly whole. At 15, I decided to step away from religion and focus my energy on love, care, and respect. That choice walked hand in hand with my transition journey. In my youth, I went through incredibly difficult moments, the kind that seemed to have no answers. Times when all you can do is hope for a miracle, when it feels like you have no one. But even then, I always had faith, and in the midst of chaos, I felt God with me. Today, I believe that God lives within people, in nature and in the invisible. I feel Him. I ask for guidance. I ask Him to protect my loved ones, to care for my soul, and to shape my character each day. And I ask for peace in the world. And that is a very poignant message, especially peace in the world during these times. So, anyway, we have Joan, who looks beautiful. She looks fucking gorgeous, but I don't necessarily agree with the little clip that we saw where she says that nothing is going to stop her from having a child, even living in her mother-in-law's house. I think that they should get their own place before getting pregnant, but yeah, that's just my opinion. Bye 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 thruple. I am so happy that after the tell all, these three will not be on our TV screens. So, surprise, surprise, they broke up on the last episode. Was anybody surprised by this? I know I wasn't. I kept telling my mother in law. I know one person that was surprised, my mother in law, even though I told her throughout the whole season, "Mom, this is a bullshit storyline. These three are just actors. They are not getting divorced. One of them is not going to marry the stripper and bring her to the States, and they're not going to live as one big, happy, blended Brady Bunch family. They're all acting. They're just collecting a TLC check. They will break up by the last episode." But when they broke up on the last episode, she was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I know you guys weren't shocked, but my sweet, darling mother in law was shocked. So the argument was about money. Is anybody surprised that it was about money? I'm not. So Ani is like Amani is controlling her with money, because since she told Amani that she wants to marry Matt, Amani didn't send her the money that she promised she would. Now Ani took off of work and she has rent to pay and her daughter to take care of, and she was promised money from Amani, and Amani decided not to send it to her. Amani, on her part, said that there was technical difficulties with the transaction and she was going to take care of it when she got back to the States. And she couldn't believe that this whole shit show was happening over money. I'm not surprised. I mean, how else were you guys going to break up on the last day out of the blue? Money. So, Amani went to the gram and she decided to post her receipts. Now, I have another question for myself. Remember when they first found out that Ani's name was Brenda? And she said that she realized at that moment that she had never seen paperwork. She never bought her a plane ticket. They were sending money to her ex's account. Remember that? They said they were sending money to Ray's account. Okay, let me blow this up so you could see this. It shows transactions going to someone by the name of Brenda A. She blurred out the dates of when they were filming, but she was trying to wire money to Brenda A. Did we just catch them in a lie? In a inconsistency? I think we might have. Then she posted more receipts stating that it was a problem with the Zoom wire transfer platform that she was trying to use. It shows that the transaction was canceled. She says that she didn't tell Annie any of this because she was fully intending on taking care of it as soon as she got back to the States. And why should she bother her with silly little details like this? Because a partner, that's what a partner does. A partner just takes care of things. Yeah, okay. So, Annie, for her part, just states that she feels controlled, that she felt controlled by Amani and Amani holding money over her head. Okay. Basically, I'm just going to give you the cliff notes from her stories. She says that, she took time off of work. When she wanted to work, Amani told her, no, I'll give you the money. And at the last moment, she never got the money. So then Amani's like, I thought the money never arrived. And I'm totally fucking confused. I don't know what's the story about the money, whether Ani got the money, she didn't get it, whatever the case may be, but it's just all bullshit. Okay? And you know what else? It's just bullshit. The fact that Ani is still following Matt, but unfollowed Amani. They just want to stay relevant. They just want to keep people talking about them. So I will be so happy after the tell all. There will be no reason to talk about them because they're not on my TV screen. And then I really have two fucks to give, honestly. So Amani had to, set things straight because she was getting criticism from people who pointed out the way that she was talking to Ani, Brenda, whatever the hell her name is, about being a stripper. And that when she was a student, she never stripped, to pay for her education. And how she was just basically throwing back the fact that Ani was a stripper in her face when that's where they fucking met her to begin with. So, I guess her old OnlyFans was dug up because she took to her stories to say, yes, I did have an OnlyFans. I had an OnlyFans at one point. But you know something? That's different. I'm like, huh? Okay, so basically, she says, let me squash the gossip about my old OnlyFans real quick. Yes, I did have an OnlyFans, and I already talked about it in my Q&A at the beginning of the season. So let's be clear, this isn't new tea. If I ever felt like doing OF again, I would. I made $5K in 3 weeks and then decided it wasn't for me. Mainly because some of the messages I got were just weird, LOL. For the record, I never stripped and never will. I've actually tried helping women transition out of that world. I once offered a girl I was dating a chance to build something together so she can leave her job, and I helped a close friend of mine quit stripping. And listen, I love strippers. I have an addiction to strip clubs. I go, I tip, I support. But if we're together and I'm investing in our future, I'm going to do everything I can to help you build something more stable. That's just how I love. Some people are into fast money. I'm not. Try digging for dirt on me. I'm an open book. No skeletons here, baby. So, this apparently is an old OnlyFans picture. She's putting it all out there. So, okay. Yeah. Kimberly, I agree. I agree. Like, how? I don't get it. I don't get it. But this is logic logic by Amani. Okay? So, she goes on, okay, because Facebook is fucking great when it comes to memes sometimes. You can find really funny as fuck shit on it. So, as you guys may or may not have seen, Amani's new nose makes its debut at the tell all. And Luke from IG, if you don't follow him, you really should share this. And I nearly spat my drink out. I mean, this was fucking hysterical. So we have Amani compared to Michael Jackson. And I think it's a pretty fair comparison. Just saying. And Amani apparently is taking this in stride because she wants to change her profile picture to Michael Jackson. Congratulations are in store for John and Megan. They're having a baby. As John said on IG, and these are his words, not mine, his sperm worked. They did the job. So, congratulations. River is getting a sibling. I want to see a John and Megan 90-day wedding special. Okay? There is nothing more than I would love to see a nervous John on his wedding day, and Patrick being his best man, and Elise being the flower girl. We need a wedding special for John and Megan. If anybody from TLC happens to be listening to me, we want a wedding special with John and Megan. Now, let's get to the Hunt for Love hot tea that I have for you guys. So, TLC posted to their Instagram. If you have questions, do you have questions for the Hunt for Love singles? Submit them here. So I submitted my question. I said, where the hell are the other singles? Why are we only seeing 90-day cast members and maybe 5 singles? Where the hell did the rest of them go? Now, Kelly, my my esteemed co-host for my Hunt for Love recaps, posted this to the gram, and I was cracking up because Kelly has become so disappointed. We had such high hopes, and Kelly and I are so disappointed in this show so far. So Kelly said, I want to see more of the 90-day cast with the singles. I am over the same fake producer drama. Bloggers won't say it because they're pick me. Sorry, guys. Bloggers won't say it because they're pick me, want to be down. It's getting boring. Love Island style people, not the same crap. And Kelly keeps saying it. This show needs to be Love Island style, not this bullshit in 90-day scripted drama over and over and over. It just gets dumb. It really, really gets dumb. So, I received a little tip about the resort. And let me tell you, was it 90-day hunt for decent rooms? Seriously. So, the 90-day cast members, let me blow this up for you guys. They stood in rooms called casitas, and they had ocean views with a pool, and they came with these following features, okay? 30/40 square meters, private rooftop, pool ocean view, 1 king bed, 1 double mattress, terrace plan, terrace open plan shower, full bathroom, air conditioning, mini bar available for purchase, fridge with groceries available for purchase, beach bags, pool towels, speaker available upon request, hair dryer, iron, and iron board available upon request, bathrobe safety, deposit box, sitting area, complimentary Wi Fi, two welcome bottles of water per day, and ceiling fan. So now, these are photos from the resort's official website. These are the casita type rooms that the 90-day cast members were put in. As you can see, you have your own private pool. It's pretty spacious. Okay. Now, remember how Courtney on Between the Sheets talks about her bathroom shower not having a door? Okay. It's going to all make sense to you in about a second. And also on In Between the Sheets, Tim talked about how he realized that Tiffany's room was the only one with the TV. He slept in Tiffany's room every night. When he first got to the resort, he realized none of the rooms have fucking TVs. So he had them take him to like a Mexican Walmart, kind of. And he got a TV, karaoke machine, cards, a card table, because there was nothing to do at the resort at night. You're at a resort in Tulum and there's nothing to do at night. Okay. And this is all, straight out of Tim's mouth on TV, on In Between the Sheets. So now, the singles, not the 90-day cast members, but the other singles, they were put in these cabana type rooms. And if you look at them, they are like huts. Like actually they're like huts. Okay. And I would be worried if it rained like it rained today, whether that ceiling would like hold up to the rain. Okay. So the cabanas, it's Cabana Ocean View. No, I'm sorry, guys. Let me get to Cabana Jungle View. Indulge in the natural beauty of Tulum at our Jungle View cabanas. These charming and intimate units are nestled in the lush jungle just steps away from the beach. Experience barefoot luxury with the comfort of modern amenities. Enjoy the peacefulness of the jungle and the beauty of nature from your own private terrace. So now, the 90-day people, right? Their rooms were 30, 40 square meters. These cabanas are 23 square meters. They have one or two double beds and air conditioning. Amenities include jungle views, small wall closet, a full bathroom, a safety deposit box, two welcome bottles of water per day, outdoor sitting area, steps away from the beach and pool area, and complimentary Wi Fi. So, as you see here in the picture, um, the place looks like a hut, and the bed basically just has like mosquito netting over it, I guess because it's open and the type of material maybe that these huts are made out of, the bugs could get in. And I would not be very, very happy about that. Now, this is the bathroom. Now, these are the bathrooms in the cabanas where the singles were staying. And as you can see, there is no shower door on the shower. I mean, this bathroom is kind of bigger than the whole room, and the bathroom is small. Okay, so now I don't think production read the reviews to this place, because if they would have read the reviews, yeah. So when the reviews are good, they're great. Okay, a lot of them, in my opinion, are bot reviews, but the actual human 5-star reviews that I was able to tell that they were humans, they posted their own pictures and stuff. They were really great reviews, raved about the food, the service, the location. Everything is great. But when the reviews were bad, they were really, really fucked up. Okay. And this one particular, avoid at all costs. Okay. We stayed at this hotel in late May and unfortunately had a very disappointing experience that left us deeply concerned for our family's comfort and safety. Prior to arrival, we contacted the hotel to request two cribs, making it clear we'd be traveling with young children. Instead of offering a standard or moderate room with accommodations for cribs, we were told we would needed to upgrade at an additional cost of $800 to a large A-frame lofted ocean room. While the ocean view was beautiful, the room itself was extremely hot and poorly ventilated. That could not be me. Our baby monitors consistently recorded temperatures in the upper 80s. Hell fuck no. When I am on vacay, my room has to be no 67 degrees or lower. Okay? If it's too cold for you, oh well. Go outside where it's 100 degrees. My room, 67 degrees or below. Fuck no. Okay? The lofted design traps heat upstairs and in the back of the unit, making the space stifling. There was a separate AC unit downstairs, but it was completely inadequate for cooling the full space. When we requested fans, we were told none were available at the hotel. There was also dead bugs throughout the unit. Ugh, hell to the fuck no. And word on the street, from what I understand, some of these cabanas had plumbing issues. Hells to the fuck no. Okay? So, these are actual traveler pictures and they show mold on the property. And this person says, a complete disappointment and false advertising. Pictures on the website were taken during the glory days. Now the place is poorly maintained. Everything is falling apart, mold everywhere. We were there during the low season. There were probably a couple more rooms occupied. One of the two pools was not even filled. The other was always dirty. Terrazal was out of order. Beach was full of seagrass. We stayed in a jungle room with the pool, which would lose half of the water daily, and we had to ask maintenance every day to refill it. The only good thing was the super friendly staff at the restaurant and decent but overpriced food. So whoever decided to book this resort at TLC, at Matt Sharp Entertainment, obviously did not do their research. Okay, you know you have to do your research before you book a vacation. You have to check all the travel sites, all the reviews. And when I started looking at this resort's reviews, I said, oh shit, this place is not a place that I would choose to go to. But that's just my preference. So, some of the singles are getting airtime, okay? And, the guys that are getting airtime, I appreciate it. Okay, we have Cole and Carlo on the between the sheets. And actually, I love this bromance between the two of them. They have great chemistry. Cole, I feel bad for him because Jennifer uh, took him, chewed him up, and spit him out like a bad piece of gum in the last episode, and then immediately turned to Rob and got her freak on with Rob. So Cole held a question and answer session to the gram, okay? And someone asked, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And he says, both. I am an ambivert with introverted leanings. You may have already noticed by watching the show, but oftentimes I felt very awkward in front of the camera, particularly when we first started filming. I managed to loosen up towards the end of the retreat and on between the sheets. It's apparent I started to feel more comfortable and show that I have somewhat of a personality. Now, he is not the first one that is going to say this, okay? Someone says, "Hi, Cole. I'm around the same age as you. What got you started to go on the show?" And he says, "Hi. Truthfully, I was approached by a casting director whom thought I'd be a good fit for the show. I'm a relatively adventurous individual who likes to try new things, so I thought, what the heck? Let's send it." To be fair, I didn't think I actually make it through the screening process, as I consider myself a relatively low key, drama free guy. Oh, the irony. The irony is right, because he got himself wrapped up in one of the drama storylines in the very beginning. So, someone asked, "Are you and Jennifer on speaking terms?" And he said, "We're cordial, I suppose." Someone else asked, "Are you bi?" And he said, "I'm not, but I can appreciate beauty when I see it. I was raised by a woman, so I tend to have more feminine mannerisms at times, but I only find sexual attraction towards women." So someone asked, "Are you single?" He said, "You have to stay tuned to see." Um, Someone else asked him, "What are favorite games of Between the Sheets?" And he says, "Honestly, the ones that got me to open up the most and be the goofiest. Writing impromptu songs, impromptu dance and impersonations, all major fears of mine as an introvert leaning ambivert. Many more fun games coming in the new episodes of BTS, by the way. Shameless plug, I know." I am totally feeling Cole and Colt's I'm sorry. I'm totally feeling their bromance. I'm loving this fucking bromance, okay? These guys, I think they're funny as fuck, Cole and Carlo. And I hope we get to see more of them, but I still want to see the other singles. Like, come on, this is getting ridiculous, okay? So someone asked Cole, how much of the drama is egged on by production versus naturally occurring? And he says it all depends on the type of show and the production's team goal. This is all speculation on my part, but for this show, it seemed they let things naturally occur for a time before determining what storylines to follow. Once the storylines start to develop, they help to build them out in a digestible manner for the screen. Cole, I respectfully disagree with you on that, because it is episode 4, and so far we've only seen 90-day drama. You were involved in the drama simply because you were talking to Jennifer, but now it seems like she kind of discarded you. It's only episode 4, so we're going to see what happens as the season goes on. But I kind of disrespectfully disagree with you on that one. I think a lot of it is producer driven and focused on 90-day cast members. But Cole and Carlo are fucking adorable. And I feel bad for Cole because Jennifer just chewed him up and spit him out like a sour piece of gum, and he did not deserve that treatment. Now, where the hell is Jay? Chad has been missing, okay, ever since he was trying to flirt with Courtney at Flirting 101. He's missing. I mean, I find this hysterical that on his IG, he has extra on TLC Hunt for Love. Not cast member on TLC Hunt for Love, but extra. Because that's basically what the singles are like. They're like extras. I mean, we're going on episode 5 on Monday, and we've only seen a handful. Like, what the fuck? Now, you know what's another fucked up thing I heard word on the street is certain singles are invited to certain things, like the tell all and to do in between the sheets, while certain singles weren't invited to certain things, like the tell all that is currently filming, I'm pretty sure, because the 90-day cast members are in New York. Elise is in New York. I mean, there's something going on in New York. Rob posting that he's leaving Brooklyn at 8:30. We know that tell all days are long filming days. They start early and late. They're filmed in Brooklyn. Uh, all signs are pointing that the tell all's being filmed. And from what I understand, word on the street, some singles weren't invited. And it's fucked up. Just like they weren't invited to that party that they did with some other content creators that got the golden invite. The freaking singles weren't invited to their own premiere party. How fucked up is that? I mean, you're supposed to be on the cast. You were casted for the show, and then you're not invited to the premiere party of the show. Damn, 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 damn. So now, Courtney did a question and answer session, okay, and she basically says that her job is reality TV, social media, realtor. So, to be honest, I try to avoid work, but at the same time, it feels like 24/7. I'm trying to create more boundaries and less phone time. Imagine if consumers could message you directly after work to talk shit. That's how I kind of describe being on a TV show or an influencer, a 24-hour hotline. Someone asked her, "What was your funniest experience in Tulum?" And she says, "Every night I will fall asleep laughing to myself. The entire experience was so unhinged. I can't think of one specific thing." Yeah, and from what I understand, it's going to get even crazier and crazier and crazier. Cassidy, that is fucked up. That is fucked up. And, I'm really disappointed, but not surprised. Like, I had such high hopes for this show. And the fact that only certain singles are getting attention, and you could tell that certain singles are being pushed to the background, like they don't matter. I mean, it's- so moving on. Courtney says to stay tuned to find out if she's still single. Um, from what I understand, word on the street, I found out this way like months and months ago that allegedly Colty, had a little bit too much to drink, and he slipped and broke his leg by the pool. The same leg that he broke while jumping on the trampoline when he was filming for Last Resort season 1 with Vanessa. And that's why Molly and Kelly were on Last Resort season 1, because Colt fell off the trampoline and broke his leg. So allegedly, Colt broke that same leg, and when he left the resort, Courtney left with him, and they went back to Courtney's house, or Courtney's parents' house in Florida, where she was nursing him back to health, and allegedly he cheated on her with a Brazilian chick. This is just word on the street, okay? May or may not be true, but you guys know that my tea usually never fails. So that's what I hear, allegedly. So, moving on, Tiffany did a question and answer session. And a lot of people are questioning if she has chemistry with Rob. And she's like, hell's no. He's my buddy. I actually like them on In Between the Sheets. They are kind of funny, okay? But Tiffany and Rob together as a couple? Hell's no. So Tiffany says her kids are doing great. And if there's one cast member that's not on the show that she can vibe with, is Gino. Okay? Gino is one that she vibes with. Now, guys, I just want to say that try to have your live notifications on and catch me live because I have a couple of the singles chatting it up in my live chat right now. I know for some reason my live chat doesn't show up for a while after my live ends. I know sometimes it takes as long as 48 hours for the live chat to show up, but I'm just throwing that out there. Try to have your notifications on. Try to check the gram. I always post when I'm going to go live on the gram. I try to do it at least a half hour before to give you guys notice. So, just saying, just putting it out there. Now, I just want to know why Coty is so concerned about getting this particular. I'm just going to show it to you. Okay. I've been looking for this thing. I was considering buying one for my niece. My niece is 10. Okay. So I've been seeing this thing all over my feed. I don't even know what it's called. Let me just show it to you. But I'm like, why is Coty getting one delivered to the set of Between the Sheets? Like, huh? A labubu. That's what these things are called.
Oh, thank you so much. Ah, perfect. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
What is it?
It's a labubu.
A what?
A labubu.
Wait, what is this?
It's a labubu.
What
Love-
is that?
Did you ordered something to our studio?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Stop it.
Good question, Elise. Why does he have a labubu being delivered to the studio? I don't know. I mean, my 10-year-old niece wants one. I'm gonna get her one for her birthday, but Colt, I don't get it. So Rob showed off a picture of his dad, okay, and where he gets his good looks from. Okay, him and his dad, spitting image. So yeah, his dad does have the genetics. Sophie was assaulted. Warning, some graphic pictures are coming up, okay? So first, Sophie posted that she was attacked. The night that she was attacked, she posted she was out at dinner and then she was at a rooftop restaurant. Then she posted these pictures saying, I currently have multiple stitches in my face and focusing on recovering from this traumatic experience, both physically and mentally, so I won't be doing any of my scheduled streams this week. Police are involved, so I won't be sharing more details on it as of right now. All I will say, evil people will always get their karma. Then she updated the next day by posting pictures of her hospital report and pictures of her stitches close up because on social media out there on Reddit and Instagram, etc., there were people saying that it the picture didn't look real. You know, her makeup wasn't smeared. The blood was limited to one place. It looked like her lip filler popped. I personally thought that yes, she was attacked, and it's fucked up. Sophie is annoying, but nobody deserves to be attacked to the point that she has to get stitches in her face. It's fucked up. Okay, so she posted this. Then she posted, "Peace out. I'm going back to LA." She was planning on moving back to LA for a bit now. And then today she decided to post another picture of her stitches saying, I'm so grateful for how much support I have gotten. It means a lot. Thank you. There's always going to be haters, but at the end of the day, I only focus on the positive, and the support and love I receive will always outweigh the negative. I will never stop being a good person regardless of what I go through. the actions of evil, and the opinions of people who don't know me. And I will continue to heal and grow into the best version of myself. And for those trying to cause me harm, I hope you heal too and can find happiness in your life instead of trying to take it from others. Jazzy and her constant bullshit. Another one I'm so fucking sick of. Okay, so first of all, she's happy. She woke up. She had a nightmare though that she gave birth to twins, a girl and a boy. Okay? See, this is how Jazzy brain brain works. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So then she switches to, okay guys, I have some drama that I want to share with you. Do you want to hear it? Takes a poll, yes or no. I guess the majority was yes, because here she goes, spilling drama, which is typical Jasmine deflection. And in this drama, she is defaming, defamation, big time, because I know who she's talking about. I'm not going to expose the person's identity, but I know who she's talking about. And this person is no joke. She does not deal with this social media bullshit. And Jasmine, just better tread lightly. That's all I'm going to say. So she did a series of stories basically accusing an ex of Matt for being psychotic and sending him Venemos in order to be able to communicate with him. And she posted one of those Venemo messages. Now, I believe that Jasmine is doing all this to deflect and defame because she's going to look like shit in the upcoming season of Happily Ever After. Like she said, oh, I'm going to be the villain. Yes, because you know your actions are going to translate into shit on TV, no matter how much you try to sugarcoat it. And then it's stories like this, depression leaving my body as soon as I get money. Don't get me wrong, I love me some money too. But I mean, Jasmine just puts it all out there, including her ass. Yeah, so after she blasted Matt's ex, took opinions from her followers, okay, and shared 4 minutes of opinions of what her followers thought, the reason why Coco, Cuckoo, whatever nickname she wants to give her, wants to harass Matt even though they broke up such a long time ago. Defaming and deflection. And then she posts her ass, hoping everybody will forget about it. Jasmine, your ass doesn't blind me. Unlike Britney's ass blinds Michael, your ass doesn't blind me. Okay? So, one thing I noticed, and thank you to the follower that pointed this out to me in my comments. Jasmine doesn't have 90 Day Fiance on her IG anymore. She has hashtag reality star, but 90 Day Fiance is scrubbed. It's no longer up there. So hopefully after this happily ever after, we're never gonna fucking see her again. Maybe. Now remember this post that I covered in my last video. It was a Reddit post. Someone spotted Jasmine in the gym numerous times with Matt, starting at the end of 2023. Well, of course, Jazzy had her own response to this, and this is courtesy of the Reddit thread 90 Day Fiance FB memes on Reddit. So, this is Jazzy and her response to that Reddit video, that Reddit post.
A picture from Reddit.
I don't go on Reddit, especially
Oh wait,
after
let
having
me go back a
Maddie
little
and
bit.
all
I want you
that. I
guys to hear who sent her the picture from Reddit.
a picture from Reddit. I don't go on Reddit, especially after having Maddie and all that. I don't even have a Reddit account, whatever the heck it is. But I was talking to Julia, and Julia sent me a screenshot. Okay, I have the chat. She sent me like, Jasmine, look,
Julia sent her the screenshot.
someone posted a picture of me at the gym. First of all, that is, imagine someone being at the gym, working out. I think I was trying to play some music. I was looking at my phone. Someone took a picture of me, goes to Reddit with no evidence whatsoever, just a picture taken without my consent and posted. Fine. I okay. But then, just with that picture saying, like, oh my gosh, Jasmine was with a guy and she was doing this and she was doing that and she was cheating and she was like, and everybody, like, oh yes, this is the evidence we need. But what evidence? I could go take a picture of, I don't know, Jennifer Lopez. Just a picture of Jennifer Lopez, and I could go on social media and say, oh yes, I know Jennifer Lopez, and
Is she really comparing herself to Jennifer Lopez?
this is the evidence, a random picture of Jennifer Lopez, and she was doing this, and that, and people will believe it. That's how brainless, like, sometimes people are. And it's just like, sometimes it's just like people want to hate on you for things that you haven't even done. So, yes,
Okay, so now, Jazzy, I have a question for you, or whatever minion of yours is watching me. Um, okay, so you said that picture doesn't really prove anything. What evidence? Well, the person that posted this picture, okay, on Reddit, also posted this picture. I know it's kind of blurry, but if you look at the window, all the way by the window, there is two figures on the treadmill. And if you look really closely and zoom in, yeah, Jazzy and Matt are running on the treadmills together. And this person had posted this on Reddit last year, as in 2024. Okay, so I want to know what's your excuse for that, Jasmine. Just asking for myself and everybody else. So, moving on, flashback 10 years ago when Lindsay and Gino went to Disney World. Okay. And he also took her to Legoland. Now, happily ever after cast. By the way, happy Juneteenth, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. Half cocked. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. I forgot. I'm sorry. Happily ever after cast. Okay. We have Kara in her nightie in front of a mic, and Guillermo decided to take an ice bath. Hey, whatever does it for you. Okay. I don't know. If taking an ice bath does it for you, then that sounds good to me. So, Julia smoking hookah with her family members. Um, I'm not curious to see what's going to happen with them on Happily Ever After. We all know it's just going to be Brandon not happy with Julia's family members taking over his house. We have Jovi, okay, with Mila, and Yara gave him a Happy Father's Day grandpa card. I think she was being sarcastic. Okay, Jovi's like, what the fuck is this? So, Rose, sigh. That's all I have to say. Sigh, sigh, sigh. Rose is getting way too deep. She is falling down the rabbit hole with her spicy page. Okay. Now, allegedly, apparently, she says she is selling bags of leg hair for $1,000. Mm. I don't know what to think. I don't want to believe somebody's buying leg hair for $1,000, but hey, people have bought stranger shit. So Rose, please don't fall too far down the rabbit hole of your spicy page. Okay, I get it. You want to make money. Okay, you, from what I heard, word on the street, she was scammed by a relative of a ton of money. A relative convinced her to invest in something that was basically bullshit. So she lost a ton of money, but she says that her spicy page money helped her open a coffee shop. So listen, if this spicy page is making you that much money that you could open up other businesses and other sources of income so you could eventually take yourself away from the spicy page, more power to you, girl. But then we have Stephanie, the original fart in a jar girl. Okay, she totally fell down the rabbit hole of the spicy OnlyFans unfiltered world. And not only does she was selling farts in a jar, but I read an article that she also sells chewed up food to an old man who doesn't have his teeth anymore. Yeah, that's why I really do not want Rose to fall down that rabbit hole, because the rabbit hole is deep. Okay, and speaking of a rabbit hole, Carini. Carini is a rabbit hole in itself. Okay, so as you guys may or may not know, she recently gave birth to her third child, a daughter. Her two sons were taken away from her and Paul, going on 2 years now, I want to say, and they are in the custody of Paul's cousin. Um, so Karini had her third child with allegedly a much older man. Okay, and yeah, so she took to the gram the other day to yeah, I'm just gonna let her share it in her words.
Mm, 6 days after baby. Um, of course, I have your truck here. So, yeah, that's me. I'm good. Of course, and sometimes I'm not okay because I need, it's still bleeding a little bit. Sorry, I say that, but it's still bleeding a little bit. And, but I'm fine. I'm, I'm fine. And now I'm eating, blueberry, blueberry, blueberry and cream because I'm hungry. I breastfeeding all the time, so yeah, just to when you guys know I'm good and hey, babe, yeah, I'm good. Bye.
I don't know, guys. There is just something about her, Paul, the fact that made the Paul made the birth announcement, that was fucking crazy. That was like, and where do I think the baby girl will go? I think for now she will be with Karini until Karini gives child services a reason to take her away. And who knows, Paul's cousin may step up and adopt the baby girl as well. I do not think, this is my opinion, Karini is mentally stable. Um, she is not in a good situation from what I see from my gut feelings. I mean, I don't know her personally. I could be wrong, but having your children taken away from you permanently and having your parental rights terminated, especially for a mom, that's pretty serious because children's services try to keep, moms in their children's lives as much as possible, unless they're really, really fucked up. So if they go to terminate your paternal rights, your maternal rights, then yeah, you're beyond that stage. So I'm hoping the best for her. Okay, I'm hoping the best for her. I hope everything is okay, with her now that she is able to take care of her daughter. The boys were allegedly taken from Karini and Paul for neglect, from what I understand. There were some abuse allegations, from what I understand, but it was mostly neglect. And Paul's cousin, like I said, stepped up. And from what I last read, I believe that she has officially adopted the boys. Okay. So, and yes, Karini says that she has to pay child support. Karini has to pay if she wants to visit her children. So, she has had a GoFundMe for the longest time for attorney fees, for to help her with the fees to see her children. And it's just a sad, sad situation. I wish her the best with her daughter. And of course, I will keep you guys updated. So, moving on to some positive news. Russ, you guys remember Russ, Powell's husband? He's going to be a children's book author. I'm going to let him tell you in his own words.
First children's book. And I'm super pumped about this because this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it's actually a series, the Sugar Glider Mysteries. The first book is called The Curious Case of the Missing Sock. It's for young readers. It's a chapter book for those learning and developing their reading skills. It's actually great for all ages, though. Axel's 6 years old, and he loves it for his bedtime stories. So follow the link in my bio and find out what Pixel and Pearl are up to as they've solved their first mystery. All right, I'm excited to announce I've written my first children's book.
So there you go. Russ has written his first children's book, and that is actually, great positive news. Going back to Paul and Karini for a second, yes, his mom was also determined to be a problem when it came to the children, because basically Paul wasn't allowed visitation, but she was. So she would take the kids to her house and Paul would be there. So, yeah, that's what I heard. So, Paul and Karini are a hot mess express. But Russ is a children's book author, and good luck to him. So before I let you guys go, just a couple of miscellaneous updates. Uh, Adorable children of 90 Day. We have David and Amani's daughter, who is looking more and more like Annie every day. I don't care what anyone says. We have Patrick and Thais's adorable little girl, Elise. And Emily, she has baby fever. She's talking about having one more baby, but she has a big old house. So you know something, Emily, if that's what you really want, go for it. Happy birthday to Miona. We have Faith, who says that she's been through hell on TV with her ex-fiance. Natalie looking pretty scary. Okay. Mahogany out there since Ben died. I mean, we didn't see hide or hair of her before Ben passed away, and now she is all over my feed. And we have Liz still moving in furniture in her new place. And we have fathers of the 90 Day franchise, including Daniel with his baby boy, Annie wishing Robert a happy Father's Day, and Kalani wishing her daddy a happy Father's Day. So this is the 90 Day Fiance Love After Lockup crossover that you guys didn't know you needed. Okay, so for my subscribers that watch both Love After Lockup and 90 Day, you will recognize two people in this picture. So John Miller from season, I don't even remember what, of Love After Lockup. He is the dude that is 118 Cherokee or something. I don't really remember. He got married within 5 minutes of his inmate walking out of the prison. He married again to a woman named Laura. And guess who was his best man? Yes, that's Molly. Don't ask me what Molly and John Miller have to do with each other. Apparently, thanks to EB Misery on TikTok, I got a little bit of insight. They met through their management company and they became best friends. This was definitely not on my 2025 bingo card for 90 Day or Love After Lockup. Okay. He got married on Friday the 13th. So if you're wondering why that's the Friday the 13th Jason guy standing behind him, yeah, that's why. Anyway, so thank you everybody for watching me. Thank you everyone in my live chat for taking time out to hang out with me tonight. Thank you for all of those watching me on the replay. And I just want to give a special shout out to a couple of my subscribers / followers. Okay. I'm going to try to make this a new thing. So please forgive me if I haven't gotten to you yet, but every video I'm going to try to make this a new thing. I want to thank Corey, Debbie, and Vicky Cox Butterfield, who will shank a person for me. Okay, I love you, Vicky. You're my heart girl. And Donna, thank you so much for your DMs every day. And Corey, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching me. Please subscribe. Double check that you are subscribed. Tell everybody that you know about me. Like, comment, and please consider joining my membership. I'm going to be uploading some new content to that soon. Okay? So for $5.99, I think it's a pretty good deal. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye, everybody.